Hello, welcome back to Fitness Friday with Johnny Tiger. The date is May 6th, 2022. And this is something different, I know, because for once, you're not actually looking at me Fitness Friday. You're looking out of my training room window. Reason being, I got a birthday party I got to attend later this afternoon. So I don't really feel like jumping around and getting all sweaty and all that stuff and having to pop in the shower again. I already took a shower today. Don't really need another one. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to actually talk a little bit about a subject that I might have touched upon before, but it is something that comes up so often with students and friends, people who hear that I'm a trainer and I make fitness videos and I make self-defense videos, and this question almost always come up sooner or later. And I feel a little bit rude to have to say to people, you know what, why don't you go onto my channel and then scroll through 50 or 60 fitness videos, and I think I might have addressed it before. I'm sure you can find it. Yeah, I mean, most people wouldn't really put in the time to sort through all these fitness videos to look for that. So there's no harm in talking about it again. And I figured that if I'm going to be long-winded, as I tend to be, then you might as well have something to look at, like nice tree outside, bramble bushes, the debris uh, outside my window, or that messy garden. I imagine this time of the year is actually looking pretty lush, pretty good. I know the grass out front on the lawn is growing out of control. It's so tall that you think you can find a snake in them. Anyway, I figure that this is a little bit more pleasant than you having to stare at my face for the entire video. So, let's talk fat. More specifically, belly fat. A lot of people ask me about how do I lose my belly, how do I lose my belly fat, and all that stuff. Should I do this? Should I do that? And what kind of sit ups or crunches? And should I do plank? Should I do squats? Should I do the ab machine? And so on and so on. So today we are going to answer some of these questions. I know this sounds like the beginning of one of those millions of videos that these supposedly doctors and professionals are making on Facebook and YouTube, and they tell you they're going to give you the solution, and then 5 minutes into the video, they tell you to buy their book or buy their DVD, and it's all about setting the hook and lure you in and get you to buy something, buy the super new kind of shake or powder or pill they're going to sell you. Lose weight in 3 months. Don't have to quit eating what you like to eat. You can eat deep fried chicken every day and you can still lose weight. Things like that. No, I'm not going to sell you anything. Those of you who watch this channel long enough know that I'm not here to sell you guys something. I'm not here to peddle my knowledge or my product. These information, this knowledge I have, I give them freely. And if there's anything I didn't cover, feel free to ask questions. I'm not going to charge you any money. With that said, I will also take this chance to give the disclaimer that I am not any kind of a doctor. Right? I am a self-defense martial art instructor. So I'm technically speaking not even a fitness trainer. Although it kind of go hand in hand when you're doing self-defense and stuff like that, you have to keep your people fit. That's why I know a little bit about fitness. But I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a fitness licensed fitness trainer. I'm not a doctor of anything. Um, so the knowledge I give you are what I call tried and true knowledge, experience from myself having to struggle with working out, staying fit, learning martial art, learning self-defense for 30 odd years. These are my own experiences and nothing else. Okay, they're not a one-size-fits-all answer that some people may be looking for, but hopefully, in what I say, in what I tell you, you will find something that will help you along your journey. So first, fat. A few myths that and misnomers that we want to set straight. One is uh, fat is bad. Not so. From an evolution, biological point of view, fat is there for a purpose. Your uh, your antibody that your body built up to fight off all the disease and viruses and bacteria, all that stuff is stored in your fat. Okay, I have seen people that work themselves down to like 7% body fat, 8% body fat, and while these people look really good, I'm going to tell you they don't function very good because they are sick all the time. When you have that little fat in your body, there's nothing to cushion you from the outside world. I'm not just talking about someone punching you in the stomach or anything like that. I'm talking about the little microscopic things that are attacking you every minute, every second that you walk on this earth. All those little creepy crawly things that try to get into your body and do something weird to your DNA, to your digestion, to your blood. Your fat stores the army that is there to fight them off. And so fat is there for a purpose, and also it's energy, right? I mean that part is perfectly uh, normal. That is obvious, right? Fat is energy. If you don't have an ounce of fat on your body and suddenly, due to some reason, you're trapped in the underground cave, you might starve to death after 3 days. Now, if you have enough body fat, then you might be able to last another week and long enough for someone to come rescue you. Okay, so uh, if we take what we know then, that fat equals energy, fat equals immunity, then we can also draw conclusion that fat equals healing better when you're injured. Because when you're injured and when your body needs to heal, your body needs excess energy, excess material. So that draw from your fat as well. This is why a lot of people lose weight when they are injured, when they are uh, laid up for a while. Part of that is because they are not eating very well, but part of that is because their body is actively trying to heal. It's using up that stored resources. Okay, so if you don't have enough fat, then your body will have problems. Run out of energy, run out of resources. Now, with that said, another, our second myth is that whenever you need energy, your body burns fat. That is not the case. Okay? Your body, just like when we go and eat beef or chicken, most of us like to eat the actual meat. We don't like to just eat a big piece of fat, right? Your body is the same way. Your body will consume your muscles first before it tap into that backup resource. Your body knows what's the good stuff, what's not so good. So your body will try to consume your muscle first. So overworking yourself will not benefit your body because your body will tear down your muscle before it even get to the fat. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Just because you work hard doesn't mean that it's using up your fat. It's probably doing more to your muscles than anything else. The third misnomer, the third myth about fat is that all fats are the same, and that is not true. Okay, 90% of our fat is the soft, squidgy thing that you feel when you put your hand on your belly, on the side of your body. Uh, the thing that makes your arm feel a little bit flabby. That's subcutaneous fat. That's the fat between your skin and your muscle. We'll call that a good fat. Okay, even though they make you look fat, but that's a good fat. And that fat is the part that cushions you between you and the outside world. That is where it stores your antibody. That is where if someone suddenly attack you, it acts as a little bit of a cushion. Okay? That's where it stores excess energy. That fat is a good fat. Now, if you're carrying like 80 pounds of that stuff around, then it's become a bad thing, right? Because it's extra work for your heart. Just like everyone says drinking water is good, but if you carry 80 pounds of extra water around in your body, then you probably won't survive for very long. Okay? Everyone likes big muscles, but if you're carrying like 300 extra pounds of muscles, then your heart won't be able to handle it. And so, even though it is a good fat, it has to be in moderation, right? But just because you got a little bit of a punch, a little bit of softness to your arms and legs, that you don't need to lose sleep over that. Yeah, that's okay. That is from a strictly health perspective, that is not a problem. That is probably keeping you more healthy, actually. Now, as long as it's not too much of it. Now, the bad fat, the actual bad fat, is called visceral fat uh, or intestinal fat. And this fat is the fat that you don't see, you don't feel. Okay? You can only find out about this when you get yourself hooked up to one of those body measurement machine or one of those uh, uh, graph things that they have at the gym, or you go to the doctor and they do a blood test and stuff like that. Okay, that's the kind of fat that you have to watch out for because you can't actually see it. You can't even feel it. This fat, the visceral fat, is a fat that under your layer of muscles. It's usually behind your abdominal muscle. And what this fat does is it grows inward and it will start to choke your intestine. It will start to choke your liver. It put pressure on your internal organ. So your internal organ have to work double, extra hard to function because it's being smothered by these fats. Okay. Now the thing about visceral fat is that most people think just because you got a belly, you're fat, you're unhealthy. Just because you got flabby arms, you're fat and unhealthy. I will tell you, even if a person who is very skinny can have a problematic amount of visceral fat inside. Like I said, you can't see this. It's in there. It's in there, sitting, growing between your stomach wall and your intestine. So a person can look perfectly healthy, perfectly trim and lean, like a lean, mean fighting machine, and can carry around 20 extra pounds of visceral fat and wouldn't even know it. Okay, so this is something that if you're really concerned, then when you get your health check, then you want to pay attention to that number. What is the percentage of your visceral fat? Okay, and pay attention to that. The next myth we want to debunk It's this idea that as long as you're active, then you can lose fat. It is not completely wrong. However, it depends on the activity. Okay, if you just lift weight at the gym, you're not going to lose fat. You're going to build muscle. You're going to build up your muscles, and then there's fat on top of your muscles that you're not losing. So this just makes you look bigger. It doesn't take away the fat. It just makes the muscle underneath bigger. This is why a lot of people who go to the gym and lift massive amount of weight will experience this. They got big arm, big chest, but they also end up with big belly. Right? Our body is like an evolution in action every day. Right? Depending on what you do, your body will adjust to compensate. So if your activity involve you sitting there moving a huge stacks of weight on a daily basis, or if your activity includes that you're bending down and picking up an obscene amount of weight every day, your body is going to say, okay, obviously this guy is going to keep doing that. So how do we customize ourselves so we don't get injured? Well, one of the biggest, if you know your physics, then you know. If you want to if you want something to support a lot of weight, then this thing has to have a thick foundation. It has to have a thick cross section. Okay, if a pillar, for example, if a pillar has to hold up a really heavy uh, weight, then this pillar has to be quite big around. Okay, you can't have a skinny pillar to hold up a lot of weight, right? That skinny pillar is going to bend double. So human body is the same way. If you start to tell your body that this is what we are going to do, we are going to keep lifting a lot of weight, then your body is going to get thicker, and it's not just your arm; it's going to get thicker everywhere because it your body knows that it's going to get injured if only the arm and the chest get thicker and then the middle gets skinny. That's going to be so detrimental to your rib cage and to your spine. Okay, so you need to build up the muscles in your core as well, which means all that big muscles in your core is going to push that subcutaneous fat outward, make it look like you got a big belly. So if you're seriously about wanting to lose fat, belly fat, and we'll talk about that in the next one. Um, if you're serious about losing the fat, then you need to do something to send your body the right message. You need to do something that makes you sweat a lot, like cardio, like jogging or swimming. I'll tell you this from a personal experience. Uh, I was very active when I was a teenager. I did martial arts, I lifted weight, I spent like 8 hours at the gym a lot of time, and I did a lot of sit-ups. I did like 300 sit-ups a day, but none of that worked to make me lean or toned. I just kept getting bigger, but I still look fluffy because all my muscles pushing that fat outward. Yeah, so I went from little fat guy to become big fat guy. That's the only difference it made, right? So when I finally got into competitive swimming, and I actually had to swim for uh, 500 meters, sometimes up to 2 kilometers a day, I lost 20 pounds within 3 months, and I was at the most trim and lean I ever been uh, at that time. I actually got down to like 170 pounds. That's like the lightest I've ever been in my teenage or adult life. So here's the trick: do something that makes you sweat. Do something that requires your body to move itself over and over again. What does that do? Is it remind you, you send a message to your body, to that evolution center, to your cell that said, hey, we got to move our 200-pound ass over and over for 5 kilometers every day. This guy's serious. So this is really hard work. What should we do to make this easier? And your body then decide, well, it doesn't really do this. I'm just making it more understandable. All this happen on a genetic cellular level that there's no actual conversation or dialogue going on. But I'm trying to make this understandable. Your body then say, okay, so here's the thing. If we have to do this, if we have to move our 200-pound ass over and over every day, then this might be a lot easier on everybody if we start dumping some of these stored energy. If we start dumping off this excess storage, then we can cut it down to maybe rather than 200 pounds, then we only have to deal with 180 pounds, right? And then we can go down to 170 pounds. And this will be a lot easier for everybody involved. Easier for the heart, easier for the stomach. And then that makes things happen. Okay, you got to make your body, you got to make biology and evolution work with you, right? So think about it for a second, that, and you will realize why this makes so much sense. If you work out like most people, like let's say you're not like a Mr. Universe type who's working out, but let's say you're serious that you're working out. You go to the gym, you sit down at the chest press machine, you set the stack up to 200 pounds. Okay, so you're lifting 200 pounds. That's a lot of weight, right? For a lot of people. So you're sitting there on the chest press machine and you're pressing that you're doing what most people do is like they do 20 reps and then they rest and then do 20 reps and then they rest. Okay, so most people do uh, three sets. Some people do five, some people do, but let's just say you do 5 sets of 20. Okay, 5 sets of 20, 200 pounds, which means at the end of the day, you have moved 200 pounds 100 times. Okay, you have moved 200 pounds of weight 100 times. You know how little that is in the grand scheme of things? Let's say you yourself weigh 200 pounds and you get on the treadmill and start jogging within 100 steps. That's basically it. So that's all that heavy lifting only amount to running 100 steps on the treadmill. Okay, so that is why cardio is way more effective in burning off energy because you are moving that 200-pound weight, aka your body, way more time. Okay, if you're on the treadmill, if you're just even if you're just doing jumping jack, right? Let's say I let's say I'm lifting 190 pound weight, like my body weight. Okay, let's say I'm bench pressing 190-pound weight, and I do 100 reps without breaking, without taking a break. Whoa, that's like crazy, right? Like I'm going to hurt myself. That's like super hard. But if I am doing jumping jack, okay, let's say I'm doing jumping jack, I'm still moving 190 pounds, which is my body, but I can do that a lot easier. Right? Jumping jack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah? I just moved 190 pounds 10 times really fast. I didn't even get out of breath, right? So I can do way more of this than I can lift. I can do that bench press, right? So in this case, it's literally quantity you're looking for. Okay. Uh, Obviously, cardio, there's a different, like there's a difference in what kind of cardio you do, but we'll address that in a future video, um, because it's getting to the heart rate and uh, how to do it to get different kind of effect, and that will make this video too long. Let's move on. Let's stay with body fat. Next, body fat is body fat. Okay, belly fat, arm fat, leg fat is all the same. You can't you can't do something just to burn belly fat. You can't do something just to burn leg fat. Right? You may think you can. Some people may look like they. You say, well, if that's the case, why do some people have skinny legs and fat belly? That is because that's the belly is where most of your fat is stored. Biologically, most of our fat is stored around the belly, inside the belly, because there's the most to protect there, especially for women. Okay, that fat is stored there for your baby, right? But even for men, that fat is stored around the middle because your internal organ need the most protection. That fat is, in a sense, acts as a kind of a body armor. Just in case someone decides to stick a knife or spear in your belly, or someone decides to punch you in your belly, that fat is supposed to help you out a little bit, right? That is why most of the fat will accumulate in the middle, but you can't target burn fat. Right? If you either burn fat or you don't burn fat. If you burn fat, it will uh, get rid of them like pretty much in an equal manner. So you will get rid of some of the fat in your arms, some of the fat in your legs, some of the fat in the middle. But because your arms and legs don't have as much fat as it will do in your middle, so it looks like it's burning more fat in your arm and legs. But no, it's just because they have less to begin with. So fat burns pretty much evenly throughout the body. You don't target area when you burn fat. You just burn fat, okay? You either burn fat or you don't burn fat. There's no burning belly fat. There's no burning arm fat. Now you can tone muscles. You can grow muscles in. You can target which group of muscles you want to make bigger. That is the difference. Fat is pretty much universal. Muscle, now muscle you can take them one at a time. Next myth we'll talk about is the idea of of sleeping, laying down after you eat. Does it make you fat? Okay. Um, this one is more complicated because it's not really a myth. There's a lot of good stuff here, so I'm going to try to uh, keep us moving along so we don't drag on for the rest of the day. Laying down, let's say laying down after you eat a meal, does it make you fat? Well, it doesn't really. A lot of people, especially Asian people, will tell you, don't lay down after you eat. You get fat. Look at your belly. Okay. Now, if laying down really make you fat, then a lot of animals should be really fat, right? Because cats and dogs and a lot of other animals, that's what they do. After they eat, they lay down. Okay. There's a reason. There's a reason why your body wants to lay down after you eat. Because when your stomach is trying to digest food, it's drawing most of your blood towards that function, which means the rest of your body is kind of not getting enough blood. This is why it feels so good to lay down or sit down after you eat, because you're not competing with your stomach to use that blood. Now, with that said, uh, sleeping right after a meal can be a little bit detrimental. If you just take a nap, like if you just take an hour-long nap and then you wake up and then you get on your business and you're fine. But eating dinner too close to bedtime is very bad for your health, and it's really bad for that fat quota that you're trying to meet. And this is why. Right? Look at how your body handle energy. When you eat something, your body digests it and it becomes very good, very potent energy. This is the best time for that energy to get used. Now, if this energy doesn't get used, it gets stored as fat. So if you lay down and go to bed after you eat dinner, what's happening in your body is your body process all that food, turning it into good energy. And then that good energy go, okay, where should we go? Okay, come on, come on, come on. We're ready to fight. We're ready to jump around. We're ready to run. Let's go. Oh hell, he's sleeping. Oh well, then let's let's go to the storage area. We might as well turn into fat, right? And then what do you do after you wake up? After you wake up, you eat again. So, so this is why it's so bad for your health to uh, eat dinner too close to your bedtime, because you are having like 7 or 8 hour, maybe 6 hours of inactivity, uh, where that energy is being wasted and goes straight to being stored as fat. Uh, Another reason why it's bad for you is one of the reasons people get fat is due to lack of sleep or bad sleep. You don't sleep that well, and a lot of people don't sleep very well after they eat a big meal like a dinner. They'll have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the washroom, or they have bad dreams for the whole night. That happens to me all the time, right? So that is really bad for your health because now you don't have enough sleep, you don't get a good sleep, and your body, your constitution is all messed up, right? So uh, this is why. But just laying down and have a nap after you eat because you feel tired, that's not going to make you fat. In fact, research has shown that it doesn't matter if you're standing, sitting, or laying down, it uses about the same amount of energy. Now, laying down after a meal is bad for some people for other reasons. Okay, if you're prone to indigestion, if you're prone to acid reflux, then you probably don't want to lay down after you eat, and this is why. Because gravity helps that food go downward if you're standing or sitting. Gravity helps your body bring that food to the right place. Right? Imagine that you have a big bag of sand. Okay, let's say you have a big bag of sand and you want to drain that into a funnel. Okay, that bag of sand is the food you just ate. The funnel is your stomach and your digestive tract. If you have that upright, if you have the funnel upright and the bag on top of it, and if even if you shake it around gently, then that will help the sand drain through the funnel a lot quicker than if you have that bag laying on its side, right? So it's the same logic. If you have a if you have problem digesting, or you have problem with acid coming up, then staying upright will help you. The gravity will help you prevent that. So we have been going on for quite a while now, and I think before we go, let me sum it up for you. Very easy conclusion. The rocket science of how to deal with belly fat. Okay, you don't need any potion, you don't need any pill, you don't need any DVD, you don't need any books. Trick number one. Trick number one is do more than you eat. You need to output more than you are putting in. This way, your fat storage will keep going down. Right. So that is trick number one. Trick number two: rather than building muscles, do exercises that make you sweat and burn energy. Right? Jump around, Do treadmill, do stairmaster, do something that make your heart rate go up, make you feel all itchy and frustrated and out of breath. Okay, that's the kind of stuff that's going to do the trick. It doesn't matter how much weight you're going to lift. It doesn't matter how many push-ups you're going to do. It's not go, it doesn't matter how many sit-ups or crunches you do. None of that will burn body fat effectively. Number three, be aware of your bedtime, right? Eat dinner at least 2 or 3 hours before you lay down to go to sleep. So your body has chance to process that food so it doesn't just sit in your stomach. And then maybe you can do a little bit of light exercise uh, before bed to even put some of that good energy to use. Although you don't want to do anything too strenuous because then you're going to be too excited to have a good night's sleep. And don't forget, sleep is very important. If you don't have good sleep, you get fat. It's just as simple as that. Okay, if you have really good quality sleep, your body will work properly, digestion works properly, and you won't get fat. You won't accumulate fat as easily. Number four, I think that's number four. Okay, drink water. I know this sounds like a broken record, but your body needs water to process things through. So if you don't drink enough water, things get clogged up. Things don't process as good. If you drink enough water, you'll keep going to the washroom. And you know what? Every time you go to the washroom, then you're dumping some excess stuff out of your body. The more excess you dump out of your body, the less fat you will seem. In the end, it's not a very complicated process to lose body fat. It is tedious, it is hard, and it takes a lot of mental discipline. But if you uh, follow my advice and just take some of these into consideration and incorporate these into your life and your workout and your routine, then I guarantee you, you will start to see results within 3 or 4 months, maybe even quicker. Thank you for checking out today's video. We'll be back again tomorrow for Survival Saturday. For now, have a good rest of the day.